জয় জয় রামকৃষ্ণ বাঞ্ছা কল্পতরু, জয় জয় ভগবান জগতের গুরু। জয় জয় রামকৃষ্ণ অখিলের স্বামী, জয় জয় রামকৃষ্ণ অখিলের স্বামী। জয় জয় গুরু মাতা জগত জননী, জয় জয় রাম কৃষ্ণ ইষ্ট গোষ্ঠীগণ, জয় জয় দোহাতার যত ভক্তগণ, সবার চরণ রেণু মাগে অধাম। জয় জয় রাম কৃষ্ণ ইষ্ট গোষ্ঠীগণ, সবার চরণ রেণু মাগে অধাম। শ্রী রামকৃষ্ণ বায়োগ্রাফি নামক যে সেগমেন্টটি নিয়ে আমরা আলোচনা করছিলাম, ওটার অন্তিম অধ্যায়ে আপনারা শ্রবণ করেছিলেন বৈষ্ণব ডিসিপ্লিনস। এই বিষয়টা নিয়ে আমরা এই গড ইনটক্সিকেটেড স্টেটে ঠাকুরের বৈষ্ণব ধর্মের যখন অবলম্বন করেছিল সেই বিষয়টা নিয়ে আমরা কথা বলছিলাম। সেখানে আমরা আজ একটুখানি র্যাপ আপ করে নিই, অনেকদিন হয়নি বলে। On completing the tantric sadhana, Sri Ramakrishna followed the Brahmani in the disciplines of Vaishnavism. Vaishnavas are the worshipper of Vishnu, the all-pervading, the supreme God, who was known as the Hari or the Narayana. Of Vishnu's various incarnations, the two largest number of followers are Rama and Krishna. Vaishnavism is exclusively a religion of bhakti. Bhakti is intense love of God, attachment to Him alone. It is of the natural bliss, nature bliss, and bestows upon the lover immortality and liberation. God, according to Vaishnavism, cannot be realized through logic or reason. Without bhakti, all penances, austerities, rites are futile. Man cannot realize God by self-exertion alone. There are two stages of bhakti. The first is known as Vividha Bhakti, or the love of God qualified by scriptural injunction. And for the devotees of this stage are prescribed regular and methodical worship, hymns, prayers, and repetition of God's name and the chanting of His glories, or the Nama Sankirtana. What is chanting the glories is nothing but the Nama Sankirtana. This lower bhakti course in time matures into Para Bhakti, or supreme devotion, called Prema, the most intense form of divine love, or you can say somewhat near the highest point of Bhakti Yoga. Divine love is the end in itself. It exists potentially in all human hearts, but in case of born creature, it is misdirected to earthly objects. To develop the devotee's love for God, Vaishnavism humanizes God. God is to be regarded as a devotee's parent, master, friend, child, family member, each succeeding relationship representing an intensification of love. These bhavas or attitude towards God are known as Shanta Dashya, Shakhya, Vatsalya, and Madhurya. The rishis of the Vedas, Hanuman, the cowherd boys of Vrindavan, Rama's mother Kausalya, Radhika, exhibited respectively the most perfect example of these forms. In the ascending scale of the glories of God of this form, in the ascending scale of the glories of God are gradually forgotten, and the devotee realize more and more intimacy of divine communion. Finally, he regards himself as mistress of the beloved, and no artificial barrier remains to separate him from his ideal. No social or moral obligation can bind to the earth his soaring spirit. He experienced perfect union with the Godhead. Unlike the Vedantist who strives to be transcendent all varieties of the subject-object relationship, a devotee of the Vaishnava path wishes to attain both his own individuality and personality of the God. To him, to him God is not an intangible absolute, but the Purushottama, the supreme person. While practicing the disciplines of Madhur Bhava, the male devotee often regards himself as a woman in order to develop the most intense form of love for Sri Krishna. The only Purusha or the man in the universe means while devoting, or the devotee is male devotee, regard himself as the woman, thinking that only Sri Krishna is only one Purush or man in the universe. The assumption of the attitude of the opposite gender has deep psychological significance. It is a matter of common experience that an idea may be cultivated to such an intense degree that every idea line to it is driven from this mind. This peculiarity of this mind may be utilized for the subjugation of the lower desires. The development of the spiritual nature now for the lower desire and the development of spiritual spiritual nature. Now the idea on which now the idea which is the basis of all desire and passion in a man's body is a conviction of his indissoluble association with the male body. If he can inculcate himself thoroughly with the idea he is a woman, and he can get rid of the desire peculiar to his male body. Again, the idea that he is a woman may in turn be made to give him another way of higher idea. So they perform in a separate way where they regard themselves as a woman, where they thought only Sri Krishna is only the male in the universe. Beautiful expression of the Vaishnava worship of God through love is to be found in the Vrindavan episode of Bhagavata. The gopis of the Vrindavan regarded the 6-year-old Sri Krishna as their beloved. They sought no personal gain or happiness from this love. They surrendered to Sri Krishna their body, their mind, and soul. Not only mind, souls too. Of all the gopis, Radhika and Radha, because of her intense love for him, was the closest to Sri Krishna. She manifested Mahabhava and was united with her beloved. This union represents, through sensuous language, a super sensuous experience. Sri Chaitanya, also known as Gauranga Gorar Nimai, born in Bengal in 1485, regarded as the incarnation of God, a great prohibit of Vaishnava religion. He declared the chanting of God names to be the most efficacious spiritual discipline for the Kali Yuga. The Nam Harinam Sankirtana is regarded as the efficacious spiritual discipline for the Kali Yuga. Sri Ramakrishna, as the monkey Hanuman, had already worshipped God as his master. Through his devotion to Kali, he had worshipped God as his mother. He was now to take up other relationships prescribed by the Vaishnava scriptures. This was in the God intoxicated state. The Vaishnava disciplines. Next day we will continue with the next part, Ram Lala. Today we will end by Sri Ramakrishna mantra that we have started. জয় জয় রামকৃষ্ণ বাঞ্ছা কল্পতরু, জয় জয় ভগবান জগতের গুরু। জয় জয় রাম কৃষ্ণ অখিলের স্বামী, জয় জয় রাম কৃষ্ণ অখিলের স্বামী। জয় জয় গুরু মাতা জগত জননী, জয় জয় দোহাতার যত ভক্তগণ, সবার চরণ রেণু মাঘে অনাম, সবার চরণ রেণু মাঘে অনাম। ওম শান্তি শান্তি শান্তি, হরি ওম তৎসৎ। শ্রীরামকৃষ্ণার্পণমস্তু।